Have you ever had a moment in your life that you could never fully explain? A moment that lingered with you, affecting everything that came after it, but somehow you just couldn't talk about it? That's how I felt about that summer, the one we never talked about. The summer that changed everything but was never acknowledged by anyone, not even me, for a long time. My name is Grace, and this is the story of the summer we never talked about. The summer that left an imprint on my heart, a secret I carried for years, and a friendship that would never be the same. It all began the summer after my junior year of high school. It was the kind of summer that you're supposed to remember as carefree, full of laughter and fun. The time when school's out and you're free to do whatever you want. The kind of summer you think will last forever, full of those lazy days when everything just feels right. But for me, it wasn't like that. It was the summer that would break me, and I had no idea at the time. I had always been close to Lily. We were best friends since we were little, through every stage of our lives, through every awkward phase and school dance. We knew each other better than anyone else did. But that summer, something changed. It wasn't an obvious change at first. There was no dramatic argument or falling out, no event that you could pinpoint and say, this is where things went wrong. Instead, it was more subtle. It was a shift, a quiet thing that crept up on me, unnoticed until it was already too late. It all started the day Lily invited me to go to the lake with her and her older brother Sam. Normally, I would have jumped at the chance. The lake had always been our spot, our place to escape the world. But this time I felt a strange hesitation. It wasn't like me to feel that way, but I just couldn't shake it. Lily noticed, of course. "Are you sure you're okay?" she asked me that morning when we were supposed to leave. "Yeah, I'm fine," I replied, forcing a smile. "Just a little tired, that's all." But the truth was, I wasn't fine. There was something gnawing at me, something I couldn't quite place. Lily didn't seem to notice. She was her usual energetic self, excited about the trip, about the time we would spend together. And maybe, just maybe, that's what made it so strange. That feeling of being disconnected, even when we were doing something we had always done together. So I went with her, hoping that the familiar surroundings of the lake would bring me back to myself. The first day was fine. We spent the afternoon swimming, laughing, and chatting about the things we always talked about: boys, school, our dreams for the future. But as the evening wore on, I began to notice something about Lily. She seemed different, quieter, more distant, like there was something on her mind that she wasn't saying. I asked her a couple of times if something was wrong, but she always shrugged it off with a smile. "I'm fine," she would say, just like I had earlier. "Just tired." But I didn't buy it. I could feel that something wasn't right. And the next day, I found out just how right I was. We were sitting by the lake that afternoon, the sun starting to dip below the horizon, when Lily's older brother Sam came over to sit with us. I had always felt comfortable around Sam. He was a few years older than us, but he never acted like it. He had always been a little protective of Lily, and I'd never minded that. But that day, something felt off. There was a tension in the air that I couldn't explain. We were all quiet for a moment, watching the sun reflect off the water. Then, out of nowhere, Sam turned to Lily and said something that would change everything. "You know, you've been acting weird lately. Is there something going on?" Lily stiffened beside me, her fingers gripping the edge of her towel tightly. For a split second, I thought she was going to say something, but she didn't. She just gave Sam a small, strained smile. "I'm fine, Sam. Really." But it was obvious that she wasn't. The tension between them grew, and I felt like an intruder. I didn't know what was going on between them, but I could feel it. It wasn't just about what Sam had said. There was something beneath the surface, something that neither of them were saying. I excused myself and went for a walk along the shore, needing space to think. As I walked, I tried to make sense of what I had just witnessed. What was going on with Lily? Why was she so closed off? And why did it feel like there was something I was missing, something I should know but didn't? That night, after dinner, Lily came to find me. She found me sitting on the porch, staring out at the stars. "Grace?" she asked softly, her voice a little shaky. I turned to her, trying to mask my concern. "Yeah?" She hesitated for a moment, then sat down beside me. Her eyes were wide, filled with something I couldn't quite read. "I need to tell you something," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. I nodded, waiting for her to speak, but the words never came. Instead, she took a deep breath, as if preparing herself to say something that was incredibly difficult. "It's Sam," she finally whispered. I think I've developed feelings for him." I froze. My heart skipped a beat, and for a moment I couldn't breathe. I didn't know what to say. This wasn't what I had expected. I mean, I had always known that Sam was a part of Lily's life. He was her older brother after all. But I never, in a million years, imagined that she could feel that way about him. "I didn't want to tell you this," Lily continued, her voice trembling. "But I need you to understand that it's not something I can control. I don't even know how it happened. It just did. And now, I feel like everything is falling apart." I didn't know how to respond. The silence between us felt heavy, and I could tell that Lily was waiting for me to say something, to react. But all I could think about was how strange and uncomfortable the situation felt. Sam had always been like a brother to me, and the idea of him being involved with Lily in that way felt wrong on so many levels. I didn't know what to think, let alone how to respond to her confession. "I don't know what to do, Grace," Lily said, her eyes brimming with tears. "I feel like I'm losing you, and I can't lose you. You're my best friend." The words hit me like a ton of bricks. I wasn't sure how I had gotten to this place, but I knew that everything had just changed. The summer we had spent together, so full of promise and carefree joy, had been overshadowed by this secret. A secret that we both knew would alter everything. I wanted to be there for her, to support her, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something had been broken, something had shifted in our friendship that couldn't be undone. We spent the rest of the night talking, or at least trying to. There were no answers, no resolutions, just confusion and pain, and the growing understanding that this summer would never be like the others. That night, we both went to bed with heavy hearts, knowing that everything had changed, but too scared to talk about it. The next few weeks were a blur. I went through the motions, trying to keep up with the world around me, but everything felt off. I couldn't shake the tension between Lily and me, or the unsettling feeling that something had been broken beyond repair. And as the summer wore on, I started to notice that Lily and Sam were spending more time together, their bond growing in a way that I couldn't fully understand. It was like I was losing both of them, little by little. By the time the summer ended, Lily and I had stopped talking about it altogether. We went back to school, pretending like nothing had changed, pretending like that summer had never happened. But deep down, I knew that we could never go back to the way things were. We couldn't go back to being the best friends we once were, because the unspoken truth between us had built an invisible wall that neither of us knew how to tear down. It wasn't until much later, when I finally came to terms with everything that had happened, that I realized something important. I had spent so much time avoiding the conversation, avoiding the truth, because I was afraid of what it meant for our friendship. But the truth was, sometimes things change, and sometimes we can't control how the people we love feel. I had to accept that Lily was going through something I couldn't fix, and that maybe, just maybe, the summer we never talked about was a summer that both of us needed to face, whether we ever spoke about it or not. In the end, I learned that friendship isn't always easy. Sometimes it's messy and complicated, but it's also about love, acceptance, and understanding, even when things don't go as planned. And even though that summer changed everything, it also taught me that life goes on, with or without the things we wish we could undo.